By far, the easiest way to overpack for any trip is to pack for your anxieties, those what if situations. So a lot of people come to YouTube, blogs, TikTok, looking for packing advice, looking for the product that's going to make their trip perfect. And what happens is they leave with a cart full of products and a lighter wallet rather than a lighter bag. It's so easy to fall into the mindset that this product is going to solve all of your problems and guarantee you have a perfect trip. But that is really not the case. And I see some products recommended that I just don't think are worth the hype. So in today's video, I want to share some of my favorite products that I think are not only worth the money, but worth the space in your bag and that I bring on every one of my trips. And this first one might surprise you because it is actually a magnetic phone stand. And this may seem random, but I use this for so many situations. This is not just for taking photos, it is incredibly useful during your travel day because of the way that this is built. Rather than being just like a normal phone stand like this that flips out and then you just mount your phone on it, this actually has these little bendable legs. These bendable legs are what makes this incredibly versatile because you can fold it into a bunch of different positions and mount it on a bunch of different things. Like it's very easy to attach to your luggage and use that to like watch videos or catch up on TikTok before you get on the flight. And I've used this on a plane before that didn't have an entertainment system, and I was able to fold it into like a hook and then attach that to my tray table and mount my phone there. But this is also really useful if, let's say, you want to get a photo of yourself and there's not really like a good place to put it because it has these magnetic feet. So you can attach this to a pole, take a photo, take a video. It also, I feel like an infomercial, but it's really that good. It also comes with this magnetic plate. And when you take this paper off the back, it has this sticky adhesive that you can attach to anything. Attach it to a wall, a window, a mirror. And then, because this is a magnetic plate, it attaches to the phone stand. You attach your phone, voila. It just opens up so many possibilities. This is by far one of my absolute favorite products. Not only do I bring it on every single trip, I also bring it with me every single time I leave the house. I've had this since the end of 2023. To me, it still looks pretty new. It's held up very nicely, and that's because it's made of this metal, very high quality. It's not like plastic and gonna snap or break after a couple trips. It's about the size of my wallet. You've seen it in every single video. It doesn't even take up that much space, but is so incredibly multi-purpose and functional. This next item, I don't know why it took me so long to get into this, but that is compression socks. I always had the issue where I would get on a flight and afterwards my feet would swell, and sometimes my feet would swell so much that it was kind of hard to put my shoes back on. So a couple years ago, when I took the longest commercial flight from JFK to Singapore, I knew that I had to get some compression socks. Now, a lot of the ones I found on Amazon were not very cute, so I ended up getting these ones from a brand called Comrade. I think they're cute, they look like funfetti. But what makes these unique is they have kind of like a graduated compression, so it's tighter down here at the ankle and then a little less compression up at the top, and that just means it's easier to put them on and take them off. I will absolutely never travel without these again, whether that is on a flight or a long road trip. I cannot recommend these enough, especially if you're someone whose feet tend to swell. You're gonna love these. Now, I think it would be quite sad to go on a trip and not come back with any photos or videos of yourself. So another small item that I like to pack all the time is a lightweight tripod and some kind of remote. Though recently I have upgraded this thanks to the sponsor of today's video, and now I am using the Hohem iSteady M7. This has got to be the coolest, most innovative phone gimbal I have ever seen. It has two features that make it ridiculously easy to record your trip, especially if you're traveling alone. Of course, any gimbal will help you get smooth, stable footage and eliminate that kind of shaky handheld look, but this one has something that I have never seen before: a fully detachable touchscreen and built-in AI tracking. That means you have full control of your shot from here or all the way over there. Just double tap your face or draw over whatever you want to track and it sticks like glue. The best part is you can use this with your native camera app. You don't need to download anything special. It also has built-in gesture control that allow you to start tracking, pause, recompose, and start recording without having to touch your phone. Honestly, feels like having a personal cameraman with you without all the awkwardness of asking a stranger to help you. It comes with detachable feet that you just screw on to allow you to place the tripod about anywhere. And there is a selfie stick hidden inside too, so you can adjust your shot or use it to get super cool low shots as well. I didn't realize how much I would love this selfie stick, but we used it to get shots like this and even fake a drone. And beyond that, the iSteady M7 still checks all the boxes that you'd want. It has 360 infinite spin, vertical and horizontal shooting modes, a huge battery life that can also be used to charge your phone, and it's super lightweight and folds down small enough to fit in my bag. If you film your travels or you want to start, this is one of those upgrades that makes a huge difference. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out for yourself. Another absolute essential that is worth every penny is a power bank. Because I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm traveling, I'm using a bunch of data. My phone battery just runs out a lot faster than it normally would. But you need your phone when you're traveling. You need to be able to navigate. You need to be able to translate things. So a power bank is an absolute necessity for me. However, I recommend getting one that is a little bit bigger. So sometimes you'll see some and they're like 5,000 mAh. I always get the 10,000 just because this will give you 2 full charges on your phone. So that means either you can charge your phone for 2 days in a row without having to recharge this, or you have the ability to share with your friends or family, anyone else on the trip with you. And it's still not too big at 10,000 mAh. Which kind of brings me to my next item, which is an adapter, but not just any adapter, but one that has extra USB plugs on the bottom. So this one is from Epica. It's a really, really popular one on Amazon. You have your general plug in the front. You can plug any type of prong plug into it. I don't know these specific terms. And then there's just sliders on the side that allow you to adapt that plug to whatever place or outlet you're using. But what makes this unique is it also has USB ports on the bottom, so you can plug one thing into here and then 4 additional things into the bottom. That's why I personally use this one more so than other adapters that I've had in the past. But let's say you want to combine both of these into one. That actually is possible with this. And I don't even know how to describe this because this is just like everything in one single thing. This is a power bank, believe it or not. It is 10,000 mAh, just like my favorite over here. It is also a wall brick, so it has 3 different USB plugs here. And over here you have your actual wall plug, but inside the package they also give you a bunch of different adapters to use with it as well. And this little piece on the side is a contactless charger. So if you place this flat, you can put your phone on top of it and wirelessly charge your phone. Now, it's not very fast when you use the wireless charging, but I have to say, when you use one of these adapters, it is blazing fast. This is the fastest power bank I have ever used with my phone. It does have a convenient screen on here as well that shows you the amount of charge that's in the power bank as well as the temperature and how much longer you have left. Now, I don't know if this always comes with this. Maybe this was just part of their Kickstarter promotion, but I also have a tiny little MagSafe power bank that they sent with it. This thing is incredibly fast too. So this is only 5,000 mAh, so not as much as I typically like to carry, but it charges my phone so incredibly fast, and it is tiny. This is the smallest power bank I have ever had, so I'm gonna give it a pass for just being 5,000, and I still absolutely love it. These two in combination are my ideal. However, if you're not interested in that, I highly recommend some kind of adapter that also has those USB ports and at least a 10,000 mAh power bank. Moving on from that, say you still have a bunch of different items that you want to plug into the wall, and so you're thinking about bringing some kind of, what are those called? Power strips. Rather than bringing like a long, bulky one like you might use at home, there are smaller ones that I think are actually more ideal for travel. So I got this one for co-working a long time ago. It has 3 plugs on it, here, here, and here. And then on the top has 3 USB outlets. So effectively you can plug at least 6 things into it. However, this shape is kind of difficult to pack. So recently I just upgraded and got this one instead. Now it only has 2 plugs on it, but on the bottom it actually has 4 USB plugs. So it has an additional USB-C, which is personally what I use more often, and it's very flat. When you compare it to this other one I have, it's much easier to pack, and it is especially compact compared to a traditional power strip. And since we're on the topic of electronics, let's talk cables. When you're traveling, you don't always know where the outlet is going to be. So when you're charging your phone at night, I recommend getting at least a 6-foot cable for your phone. That way, no matter where the outlet is in your hotel, in your hostel, especially in hostels, they're like never close, you're still able to use your phone easily before you go to bed. To upgrade that even more, I recommend getting one of these multi-cables. So on each end is a built-in adapter, which means for me, I no longer have to bring a cord for my Kindle, for my phone, for any other thing that I want to charge. Now I can use this singular cable to charge everything, and it comes in 6 feet or 10 feet. So a really, really long one. When it comes to organizing all of the things in your bag, I say skip the tech pouch, skip the special pill container, skip all of that, and just use Ziploc bags. Now, this is my old tech kit that I used to bring on every single trip, my laptop block and my different cords. I always carried it in this, which is just a quart-sized Ziploc bag, the same one that you can use for your toiletries. These are very affordable, very convenient, lightweight, and waterproof. I mean, that is like the ultimate travel hack. You can get plastic bags like this at any kind of grocery store. You probably already have them in your kitchen. If you ever have something that you need to organize and you're just like, I don't know what to use, grab a plastic bag. I don't know why this always happens, but anytime, I swear, anytime we have a trip, I always get my period, and it is typically either the day before or on the flight out, and it sucks. It is terrible having to worry about packing enough tampons, making sure that I'm able to change it on the plane or in transit of some kind. I have so many horror stories about this. One time I got it while I was on a bus ride in France, and the bathroom was broken on the bus, and I just had to bleed until we got back and all the way back to my homestay. So now what I have switched to is a period cup and period underwear, most importantly. I've been using a period cup for the last like 10 years. I love it. I no longer have to worry about bringing enough pads or tampons. However, the only downside is sometimes they leak, which means I still had to pack panty liners, and then sometimes it just wasn't enough to contain the leak. So actually one of my friends told me about period underwear on a trip. I ordered 3, and I'll never use anything else now. I use 3 specifically because I have one that I'm wearing, a clean pair, and then one that is washing or drying. So this means I always have a pair ready to go the next day. You only have to change the period cup every 12 hours, which means you don't have to stress about finding a public bathroom, finding a pharmacy, finding tampons, packing enough of that. It is just such a weight off my shoulders, and I cannot recommend it enough. I just have 2 more recommendations left, one that I think you've heard of and one that I'm sure you haven't. The first is a lightweight shawl, and this thing is just so incredibly versatile. When I'm on the plane, I will use this to cover my body if I want a little bit of warmth or just to feel a little more comfortable, or sometimes I'll use it to cover my eyes because I don't always bring an eye mask. When you're actually on your trip, it's great for if you're going into any kind of religious building like a cathedral or a temple, because you can cover your shoulders or cover your legs. It also is a great way to dress up, maybe something that's a little bit more casual like a dress, and make yourself look nicer for dinner. This is just so versatile, and the one time I forgot it, I seriously regretted it. And the final item, I doubt you've heard of this. This is called the Heat. This is a minuscule bug bite zapper. If you've ever seen this thing before, let me just tell you from experience, it doesn't work. When I travel, especially to like warm places, I always get eaten up by mosquitoes. Now, obviously the best way to prevent bug bites is to wear bug spray, and I would just buy that at the location. But if you already have them and you're just looking for some kind of relief, I highly, highly, highly recommend this. All you do is plug this into your phone, and what it does is it heats up. You apply that to the bug bite, and that somehow neutralizes the itching. It's very similar to if you've ever heated a spoon and applied that to the bite, except for you have a little bit more control, and this is, I think, safer. This one is really small, like you could attach it to a keychain, and it takes up absolutely no space. Now, since we're talking about travel faves, I figured I'd also just tell you at the end a couple things that I would likely not take myself. The first one I mentioned earlier is like this tech organizer and case. I see these recommended all the time, but they're bulky and they're usually kind of firm, so they don't fit well. It's hard to piece them around the other items you're bringing. And if you're traveling with just a personal item or even just carry-on only, I just think they're kind of cumbersome, and you can do a better job with Ziploc bags. Another one in the same vein is like shoe bags. Personally, I just take old plastic grocery bags that I've saved. I don't know, growing up, my mom always kept these stored away, and I've just continued the tradition. So not only do I use these at home, but these are perfect for just putting your shoes in during a trip and keeping them separated from your other clean items. Another thing I just do not see the point of are these like larger Cadence capsules, I think they're called, for your toiletries. I think these are just very bulky, and it is cool that they can like magnetically attach together. Instead, I would honestly recommend just getting like mini toiletry containers from Amazon or from Muji instead. For context, this is a traditional travel toiletry container. You can see I got this from Walmart. It's the Equate brand. I got this one from Amazon, and you can see how much smaller that is. They're small, they allow you to bring more items, and they're affordable. And guys, that's all I have for today's video. I am looking for recommendations for travel pillows. I have the Turtle. I don't love it, so if you guys have any that you swear by in the comments, please let me know. And if you like packing videos like this, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. That always feels so cheesy. Bye, guys.